hope you're all well, and welcome to quite a first video. Well, it's the first video on the channel. Welcome to his guide to the galaxy. So this is myself, and this is GoDoctorWho on the right hand of the screens. And yeah, we are starting a brand new kind of Doctor Who podcast. So we're still figuring out exactly what this is going to be, what it's going to be like, etc. But the plan is we're going to do a lot of Doctor Who content on this channel together. We're going to get a few other Whotubers involved, and hopefully it's going to be a fun little podcast to go along with. So I guess the best place to start would be talking a bit about who we are. So do you want to tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, Go Doctor Who?
Yeah, so I'm GoDoctorWho on YouTube and Geeks Assemble on TikTok at the moment, and I do review theories and top 10s on YouTube for Doctor Who and talk about all the new episodes when they come out, and mainly when it's big news I'll talk about it on my YouTube. TikTok, I do Marvel, Doctor Who, Indiana Jones styles, you name it. Just the place to be for a geek like me. That's pretty much it, really. Geeks Assemble, TikTok, GoDoctorWho on YouTube. So yeah,
absolutely perfect. Because yeah, you've got quite a large platform on TikTok. How are you finding TikTok so far? Because you kind of blew up over there.
Well, I mean, I don't get recognized in the street, but in Comic-Cons I do, which is wild because I had someone in front of me, the back of me, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I watched a video," and that was like, "Whoa." So yeah, getting noticed in Comic-Cons definitely if you go down that end. Yeah, it's good. I just pretend it's a number just to less scare me. But yeah, it's good. I enjoy it.
That's great stuff. So yeah, I guess I'll say a bit about myself now. So I'm William Who. I also have a YouTube channel. I cover lots of Doctor Who content. I like to cover Doctor Who news, Doctor Who rumours, Doctor Who leaks. I like to do reviews when the series is airing, rankings, all that kind of Doctor Who stuff. I've been a fan now for many years since the show came back in 2005. And yeah, in general, I'm just a very Doctor Who person, and I love talking about all things Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, yeah.
I guess the next question would be, the next question, is that your cat there, I'm guessing?
I have two cats, one's down and one's on the desk at the moment. This is, yeah, crazy. They're both kittens. So
one in the podcast. But I guess another question would be, how did you get into Doctor Who? So how did you kind of get into the Doctor Who universe?
Basically, my granddad, so I was like 6 years old. We have a disc actually, and he used to record them and basically make it for himself. And it's a god damn it. Take two. So yeah, my granddad got me into it when I was 6. Yeah, he was like, "Oh, watch this. Tell me when the adverts at the end and the start are on," and I cut it and make it my own disc. And basically, I just sat there, watched it because my granddad was busy, and I enjoyed it. I was like, "Doctor Who, what's that?" And then boom, Sidemen 2-parter, Rose and 10, trapped in a parallel universe, Sidemen coming towards them. It's just that indicates just where I started, and I loved it ever since. So yeah.
I'm literally the exact same. So my granddad, my grandpapa, he was a big fan of Doctor Who growing up, back in classic Doctor Who. And I remember when the show came back in 2005, I remember him telling my mum to put it on for me because he thought I would like Doctor Who. And that's how I kind of got into it. I remember it was back in 2005 when Rose first aired. My mum put it on the television. My grandpapa wasn't there, but my mum was. And we watched it together. And basically since then, I've been hooked. I just think Doctor Who is an incredible show. And it's kind of been there since I grew up. And I've kind of just, even to this day, it's still my favourite TV show out there.
It's incredible. And yeah, that's crazy that we have the same sort of, in a way, the same person as to just, get us involved. That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people like that. They always say it's through their family, it's kind of passed on. And so what was it about Doctor Who that kind of attracted you to it? Why did you love this show so much and get so invested?
I don't know really. Like, I was 6 years old. I loved it. It was just different. It's different every week. And yeah, it's crazy. But My cats are attacking the place. Sorry.
It's all good.
What was I going to say? Yeah, it's crazy the fact that basically there's so much to do. You had cards. You had cards to collect. You also had all these figures coming out at the time, and it was everywhere. Doctor Who was everywhere, so you couldn't really escape that. But also the fact that it was the year when in primary school where everyone was trying to talk about it as well.
Yeah.
Like you had trading cards to play with and swap. You also had all these figures, and it was just amazing time, to be fair.
I completely the same here. I remember at school when I was growing up, and people were talking about, especially when we had the big Stolen Earth cliffhanger, with David Tennant regenerating. I remember people talking about it in school, and that's kind of what I miss about Doctor Who now. It doesn't feel like it has as much as an impact. But I would say I'm similar. I like Doctor Who because it's a bit of everything. You can be. It's all good. I could see you. Was your cat's attacking you there?
I'm gonna put them in the other room just because it's messy.
Yeah, that's fine, no problem. But yeah, so I kind of got into Doctor Who because it's a bit of everything. One week it can be historical, the next week it can be future, and yeah, it's a bit of everything. And the character of the Doctor is very interesting. The cat's there. So yeah, it's a bit of everything. Please let us know in the comments below. How did you get into Doctor Who? Why did you? Was it like us? Did your family member get you into it?
Cat free.
All good.
Yeah.
All good. I also feel we should mention you've got a really cool 14th Doctor cosplay as well there.
Yes, from Costaddy. Shout out to them. Yeah, I think it was like £200 just for the suit and the coat. But yeah,
It's expensive, but it looks like the real deal. It looks like the exact same costume.
Yeah, it's a waistcoat sort of thing going on. I can't do a tie, so I'm gonna have to do that when I get a Comic-Con.
Just do that way.
So that's the reason. But yeah.
So yeah, that's why I got into Doctor Who. It's basically it's about everything, 1 week can be historical, the next week it can be in the future, and the character of the Doctor is very fascinating. The concept of regeneration, they're a traveller, they kind of travel the universe. So yeah, that's how I'm into it. It's a bit of everything really. It's one show filled with lots of shows in a way.
Yeah, also secretly watching Torchwood when you're not meant to as well. That I got into that earlier than I was meant to, and Sarah Jane Adventures. Every school time you'd run home, get to that, So yeah, multiverse.
With Torchwood as well, I watched that when it first came out. So I think I would have been about 9 years old. So yeah, you're meant to be 18 to watch Torchwood, but I still loved it growing up. What would you say is your favourite spin-off? Do you have a favourite of Sarah Jane and Torchwood?
It is Torchwood for me. Like, I just loved it. I watched it when I wasn't meant to, and all the other adult stuff just went through my head as a kid, but obviously pick up on it now. But yeah, I loved it. I thought my favourite episode is the wedding episode. I think that just sums up Torchwood so well. With Gwen getting married, and it's like a shapeshifter. That just symbolises Torchwood to me, like how crazy the plot is and everything. I just loved it. And yeah, Sarah Jane Adventures still, I remember just running home, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, getting home, watching that. Class hasn't really got an impact. It was just an iPlayer thing, but
I've rewatched Class once, and all I can say is, at best, it's okay, but it's not up there with like Torchwood or Sarah Jane. I would probably say for myself, I do prefer Sarah Jane just a little bit more, but I think it's very close. I think Torchwood was also another great show, especially revisiting now, understanding of everything. And like you said, the wedding episode, I do remember that. That's one of the best episodes of out there. And it is a shame that going forward, Russell has said recently, we're not going to get, like, I don't know if you've heard, we're not going to see like a children's spin-off in the foreseeable future. He's going to focus more on other areas. So it's a bit of a shame we're not going to get another Sarah Jane Adventures, but it was one of my favourite shows growing up. I loved Sarah Jane. She's an amazing character.
Yeah, the budget was sadly not there. I think he was saying it's like, I do get that it is a cheap aspect. You have to, this is just for kids, so they try and not do it as much, I guess. I don't know. But there was still abilities you
you're frozen.
Kids, I don't know, but I think it is hard. Oh, am I back?
I think you're back now.
Is
It
it
was just
back
a
now?
yeah, it's back
Ooh.
now. But yeah, it makes sense. Like the BBC are having loads of budget cuts and they've got a limited budget. So I understand that, you know, CBBC, that's shutting down in 2 years anyway. So kind of just makes sense.
Yeah.
So with you, obviously we're both YouTubers. So what would you say got you into the side of YouTube? What made you convinced to give it a kind of go?
It's I guess unpopular opinion at the moment, but the Whovians, they got me in. I remember their first video of such. I remember them buying a DWM and it's celebrating the 60th, the 50th anniversary, and I just loved it. And that's 2020, 2013. I got involved. Big 50th anniversary. Everyone was talking about it, and I just loved that. I tried it and it didn't work. I made the Titan comics. I tried reviewing them. There's a GoDoctorWho out there with like
Oh,
one subscriber somewhere, but
somewhere out there.
yeah, it didn't work. I did it for a week, gave up. Tried again in 2018 and continued, and here I am today. Yeah, I just them guys kind of inspired me to go to Comic Cons, meet these celebrities. Because I saw them doing it. I was like, I'd love to do that, but I'd never have the courage to do that. And one day I was just like, screw it. And that's what I was like with YouTube, screw it and do it. Because I have opinions. Why not? And it got me to meet you, and of course, and other people. You know, I got to talk to you. There's someone else who's filming some stuff I'm not allowed to say, but he's gave me some inside knowledge. I would have never got that if it weren't for YouTube. You know, it's like, it's interesting. It helps you in certain ways you don't realize.
I think, yeah, I would agree there. I think one of the best things with Doctor Who, especially throughout the Chris Chibnall era, is it does feel like the Doctor Who community has grown a lot. I think a lot of people turn to YouTube, especially during the lockdown and that kind of stuff. So I think the Doctor Who community as a whole is a really nice place to be, even on Twitter, on YouTube, on TikTok as well. For me personally, I was kind of similar, again, similar to you. I did YouTube when I was younger. I don't know if you've heard of Doctor Who figure adventures before. It's basically where you make your own Doctor Who stories with figures. I don't know if you've heard of them before.
I know certain people have done them before. Like,
Yeah.
I think Doctor Who Adventures, they did something like that as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you're right. So I did that when I was younger. They're out on YouTube somewhere. They're not very good. They're kind of just forgotten about now. So I did that during the Matt Smith era, and that was my first introduction to YouTube. And then back in, I think it was just before Series 12 started, I decided, because I thought about it for a while, I'm quite a creative person, I thought, same as you, I'll go for it. I'll try a YouTube channel. And yeah, I just kind of started covering Series 12, did reviews, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, now I'm still doing YouTube to this day and kind of just still covering Doctor Who because it's quite fun making videos and putting my thoughts out there. It's something creative to do. I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, you smashed it. I think you're on like 5,000 or something now, is it? Or more? I don't
Somehow
know.
I'm there, yeah. Somehow I'm
Yeah.
at 5,000. Same with your TikTok. Like you're like massive
Yeah.
on TikTok. I've never got into that yet. I might do it one day. I'm not really sure how to get into it, but yeah, TikTok's a really big platform as well.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think 5,000 on TikTok's not as good. Like YouTube, it's hard. It's hard. I'm struggling to get to 1,000. I've still been there since 2018. You know, I'm nearly there. I got 150 to go, and then I'll be at 1,000. But like with TikTok, I don't know if you get the right algorithm or something, it just boosts you up. I think, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's less hard to do in a way. I don't know, but either way. Yeah, YouTube and TikTok are definitely something you can just put your mind to. I like to just do cosplay stuff and pretend to be David Tennant for a bit in a video or something like that, and it just helps. And YouTube wise, it's just something to get your mind. You've got an opinion, just let it go, and then see where it goes and what audience captures it, I guess. And yeah, it's great fun, and I don't know, it keeps you going, I guess, as a Doctor Who fan when it's not on air.
Exactly. I think there's benefits. You get to obviously be quite creative, share your thoughts. You get to talk to other Doctor Who fans like we've met each other. We know other Whotubers out there as well. And yeah, it's a really nice community. So I guess moving on to Doctor Who itself, obviously we're in the middle of the 60th anniversary year. So what are your kind of thoughts on the 60th? Are you kind of excited for what's to come? Are you hoping for something else that's going to happen? A lot of people want multi-doctor, some people don't. What are your kind of thoughts on it?
I think first episode, Donna and 14, sorry.
Yeah,
They
get confusing, yeah.
They meet, they have some fun, we have some memory redos, and we just have Meet the Beep. And it's just going to be a fun little story with a plot twist that the comics have done. I'm sure it's going to work. Second one, mystery, we don't know, but I think that's where the cameos are going to come in. We might get some other interesting people because that was filmed indoors to secret, I guess. Yeah. And the third one, although this is interesting, the toy maker, I think he's playing Patrick Harris. Is it Patrick Harris? But
Neil Patrick Harris.
Said he's filming 6 weeks, I heard, and that was it. He's filmed 6 weeks. I think that's quite short, isn't it? So I hope he's in it more than, I don't know.
I think he's probably in the last special as the main one, but maybe in the first 2 specials he'll kind of think like Missy in Series 8. He'll kind of pop up throughout maybe a few times, and then there'll be a big grand reveal, maybe the end of episode 2, who he is. Because let's be honest, he's playing the toy maker from Classic Who. That seems very likely at this stage.
Yeah, it just feel like he is going to be the toy maker. He's got all these ideas. He's got a revenge plot and stuff as such. Because it just looks interesting. And of course, celebrating 60 years of the show, you've got to pluck out some classic villains as well, not just the Daleks or the Cybermen for once. Yeah. So it is going to be interesting. I just hope that Donna's story is wrapped up quite nicely, because she is my favorite companion. But it's also, I'm okay with her mind getting redone. I'm okay with that. But I feel like she's going to do a Martha route and go, I had fun with you, Doctor, but I've also got my own life with this family that I've made now, and I've got to do that. But she's finally remembering. It's like Pete Capaldi remembering Clara.
Yeah.
He's happy, he remembers it, but he has to move on as well. So I feel what's going to happen for 60th.
That's what I'm thinking too. I think with Donna, I don't think her mind will be wiped again. I find that very unlikely. I think they'll keep it in place, but what they'll do is Donna maybe realizes her life is already perfect. She obviously got a child now. We can presume that'll be Yasmin Finney's character, Rose. She also got a husband and stuff as well. So I'm thinking what they'll do is, like you say, what happened with Martha really is Donna will have a bit of a moment where she realizes basically she doesn't need the Doctor. Her life is kind of perfect the way it is, and she can kind of move on now. What I'm really interested about is, do you think Donna will meet Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor? Because that's one of the rumours that the two will interact. Do you think that will happen? Would you like to see an interaction between Donna and the new Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa?
I can see Ncuti being inside the 14th Doctor's head and being a visual throughout until maybe something happens and then 14 turns into 15. Donna has an interaction, and then Ncuti goes back in Tennant again for the final act. And then again, I think she's going to have a small interaction, but not much. I think we're going to see it for a brief second, and that's it. But yeah, that's what I could see.
Yeah, I'm thinking along the same lines, because I think they'll try. I think Ncuti will be involved in the 60th, but I think they'll try and keep his main introduction until Christmas. I think the 60th will mostly be David Tennant's adventure. But my hopes of the 60th, like I said, kind of the same as yours. I think it'll just be a fun 3-part story with the return of the toy maker, Mel Bush from Classic Who. She's probably going to be in it as well, if rumours are to be believed. And obviously the big question people keep asking is, will other Doctors be involved? And at the moment, I'm not too sure. I would love to see Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi come back. I think at a minimum, we'll probably get a cameo with at least Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi at a minimum. I can't see them not being involved in no capacity whatsoever. But as main Doctors, I'm not really sure if they'll be a big part of it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I saw a long time ago, a couple of months ago now, Russell doing an old DWM, and him saying you're not a fan of multi-Doctor stories.
That's right.
I'm just like, damn. So that's what really feels like this is why he's doing something different. But we kind of expect a multi-Doctor because it's anniversary. And although we had all classics, I could see them in some capacity having a smaller cameo than they did in Power the Doctor in some way, maybe. But I feel like, yeah, Matt Smith, he had his hair at the time. I'm not sure about filming, whether he was free or not. But if it was a cameo, yeah. But I don't think he's going to be in it any more than just a small cameo of such. I think, sadly, Peter's my second favourite Doctor to David. And I feel like he's not going to be back. I feel like he's kind of laid that down since he left in series 10, and that's sad. And I no chance with Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah.
I've just upset some fans there. Chris Chibnall is a timeless child Doctor.
Yeah, say that. But yeah, Christopher Eccleston, we can rule him out. He's never coming back. But with Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi, I think Matt Smith. The thing is with Matt Smith, I think he would do it. I think Matt Smith would easily come back if he was asked. So there's always a chance he'll be in some capacity. And I think Peter Capaldi, he's said he won't do it, but I have a feeling deep down he could be convinced. But at the end of the day, if they're not in it, personally, I'm fine with it. I'll be a bit disappointed, but not majorly, because they are doing something different. I genuinely am intrigued by this idea of the Doctor revisit an incarnation they've been before. I feel it depends on the writing, of course, but I feel there's a lot you can do with that. And I feel maybe in the end, this 60th anniversary special will stand out more than the others because it is so different. So I'm definitely up for it. I would love to see other Doctors involved. But at the end of the day, I appreciate they are trying something different, especially after Power of the Doctor. Maybe Russell felt that was multi-Doctor in a way. Let's not do the same thing again. Let's shake up a bit.
I can see Jodie. I know she was pregnant at the time, but I can see Jodie in them robes, and she go, "Oh, I get a robe this time," or something like that, just something quirky or whatever, and then it just hides the bump if she's pregnant. I could see her possibly in that where the classic Doctors were, maybe the Guardians or something, whatever they're called, and that would be interesting for Jodie. But I also think I can see in the 60th every episode ending, and then the 5 minutes towards the actual end, it leads into the next episode like it did in Classic Who. I could see Russell doing something like that. Just like it's not all connected, these are separate stories, but like there's something tying into the next one, maybe.
That's what I think, because it looks like the first episode, that'll be Beat the Beep. That's going to be the focus of the first one. The third one's going to be Neil Patrick Harris, we could presume. The second special, we don't really know anything about. There's rumours it takes place in a nuclear power station. And I remember, I think it was Russell, it was someone in Doctor Who magazine said that the second special is going to be very fan heavy. Like it's going to be one for the fans, which makes me think maybe that's, if we are going to get a multi-Doctor or anything, it's probably going to be some element to the second special. And yeah, maybe we'll get like a Matt Smith, even like a Jodie Whittaker cameo. They could even have filmed her cameo now. They could just add it post-filming if they wanted to. It'd be nice to involve all new Who Doctors in some capacity, because Power had all of them except Tom Baker, and it'd be nice if they could get most of the new Who Doctors, apart from probably Christopher Eccleston, in this episode. That would be quite a nice treat, I believe.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that we don't really know exactly for episode 2 as well, to be fair. But if it is set mainly for Power Station as well, that's kind of claustrophobic in a way. So I wonder what could be exactly the villain chasing them. In one way, I love the Daleks, but I hope it's not them, because they are got to play a part in every year.
Yeah.
But I feel like hopefully they don't do the 60th for the Daleks, although it would be cool to see 10 and Daleks again. But
yeah, I hope it's not the Daleks, because like we've just had them in Power of the Doctor. They're also, I don't know if you're reading it, but they're also in the 14th Doctor comic. They're the main villains of that as well. So I feel like they've already got a big involvement anyway. We've just had them in Power of the Doctor, and I would give them a bit of a rest. But I guess that's a good lead-in to finally, to wrap up, talk about Series 14. That's kind of like, and in a way, there's more hype for that than 60th at times, because everyone is so excited for Ncuti Gatwa, Millie Gibson, a new series, new era. So what are kind of your thoughts? What is your thoughts on Ncuti Gatwa, on Millie Gibson, on everything that's coming our way in this new exciting tenure of Who?
I'm excited. I've seen, obviously, from the 60th and with the slugs that have been leaked from Series 14, Basically, it's more practical with CGI being added later. I'm happy with that. I think that makes it more look realistic, which is cool, and it gives the actors something to bounce off. So I'm happy with that. I don't mind if music-wise it's Murray Gold or someone new. I really don't mind. But writing-wise, I could see Russell definitely writing the final and the first episode. I'm not sure on anything else he could be writing, but I'm excited to have a Russell final, and I can definitely see him starting the first episodes up. Even if I think we're getting a Christmas, is it? And then it's 8 episodes, so I can see him doing them too.
We can presume it's probably going to be Christmas this year, probably Christmas Day, and then a break, probably spring next year, Series 14. That's my kind of guess on how they'll schedule it, but it's not confirmed yet.
I just remembered as well, I saw this on TikTok, and basically someone was saying that Russell had to change the first scene in the first episode of the series.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Disney asked him if he could change it, and now he's happy with it and stuff. So I'm excited to see that first scene, because I was probably expecting, like everyone else, the Earth, and then it goes down with, like, you know, every series it opens with the Earth or something and stuff like that.
From the first Whotuber center,
maybe Disney was like, oh, that's a bit, can we change it? And now we've gone past that, maybe gone to something really interesting. I don't know, but yeah. Characters wise, Millie Gibson, I just hope her family structure, although it just looked like she's very involved with neighbours and stuff, I hope that Millie Gibson has a decent family, because Russell's really good at family dynamics. Rose's family, Donna's family, Martha's family. But yeah, literally really good at that. So I can't wait for that family dynamic. And hopefully Millie has some friends that could jump on board the TARDIS as well, because I feel like it was a letdown with Yaz having a sister and not them interacting. So yeah. And Millie's really good. Millie Gibson is really good in Coronation Street. I've seen her in that. And she's got a very vast variety of acting. So it's very cool that way. And Shooty is going to be in the Barbie movie. He's going to be in Sex Education. I think he's in something else. I'm not sure. Yeah, literally, he's in 2023 to 2024. I'm excited. I can't see him how he can portray the Doctor. I could guess and go, oh, he could be a bit like 11 and 13 in a way. But I'm gonna say I can't predict what he's gonna be as the Doctor, but I'm excited. It's definitely feeling new and exciting, and I loved him in Sex Education. So yeah,
I'm the same as you. I think I've seen Sex Education, and I think Ncuti Gatwa is a fantastic actor. He's like the perfect person to be the next Doctor. And what I like is I think it was last month's Doctor Who magazine. I can't remember who it was, but somebody said Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor is going to be a new Doctor. It's going to be a Doctor we've not seen before. And I think after the 60th, as great as David Tennant is, and I'm so excited for his return, after the 60th, we need a new Doctor we've not seen before. I think that gives me a lot of confidence. This new era is going to be something new. I think Russell, as a writer, he's progressed a lot since his first tenure. He's not like been unsuccessful. He's had It's a Sin. He's had Years and Years, which are two great shows. And yeah, like you, I'm just very excited to see where Russell's goes, because as much as the Chris Chibnall era was divisive, what I'm most looking forward to is just a bit better character work. I feel Chibnall didn't deliver all that time, like on Yaz, for example. He didn't deliver all the time on the characters. So I'm most excited to just hopefully give the Doctor, Ruby, some great character development. Hopefully we see some of Ruby's family, some of her friends, and it just feels a lot more down to earth. That's what I miss with Doctor Who. I think Russell did a great job making Doctor Who feel like a down to earth drama, and I think that's the best way to go with it. So I'm glad we're kind of hopefully going to be returning to that style, but hopefully new at the same time.
But also, while we're on spin-offs as well, I just want to say, don't make a spin-off of a spin-off. Like One Division's doing Agatha. Agatha was in One Division, and now they're making an Agatha spin-off, and it's meant to be connected to Marvel. It's like, I can't be bothered to watch an Agatha spin-off, because like, why are we doing spin-offs or spin-offs or spin-offs?
Spin-offs.
So please don't do that. Just, if you're going to do a spin-off, it has to connect to Doctor Who. Don't do another one of another show. If that makes sense. But yeah,
that's a great point, because that is something a lot of people fear, that Doctor Who is going to become Marvel, where we get so many. Like, don't get me wrong, spin-offs are great, but I feel there's a limit, and I don't want Doctor Who to have spin-offs for the sake of it. I don't want it to become like Big Finish. Big Finish is great, but it gets away with it because it's audio. But I feel with the main show, you have to be careful. I hope they don't just do spin-offs for the sake of it and it goes overboard. It doesn't seem likely. Russell's already ruled children's spin-offs out, so it sounds like there's a limit. But yeah, I kind of hope they don't follow Marvel that route and do spin-offs. Like you said, spin-offs and spin-offs and stuff, because it'll just get confusing for the general public. They'll just zone out because it'll be too complicated to follow. So I hope the spin-offs are kind of how it was in the first tenure of Russell, just simple, on the side. You can watch if you want. It's mostly just a fun storyline, whatever, but it's nothing too deep. Not that you have to watch it for the sake of it, and they don't make it complicated, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I guess for our first episode, we'll wrap up there because we've talked quite a lot about Doctor Who today, which was our aim to kind of introduce us to ourselves. This is a new podcast. We're not sure how many episodes we're going to do a month or anything like that. We're kind of just, whenever we get free time, we'll do them, but we'll try and sort something out. We've got a few Whotuber guests that are already lined up, so hopefully they'll be joining us in future episodes, and we'll try and get a few more guests on. I guess to finish up, do you want to just give a bit of a shout out to your channel, your TikTok, let people know where they can find you? And obviously, we'll be back in future videos to do this, hopefully quite regular podcast series. But to finish up, just tell the viewers a bit more where they can find you in case they're quite new to your channel.
Yeah, I'd be up for doing some more, and basically maybe once a month or whenever we've got some spare time or some major Doctor Who news has come out, we'll try something, even if it's a smaller podcast than this, maybe 10 minutes, even so, just do. But yeah, anyway, yeah, my channel is GoDoctorWho, been doing it since 2018. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribers, been slowly pulling our way there. We're 150 away, so yeah. I've got loads of videos coming up. I'm going Liverpool Comic-Con this Saturday, 2 days before my birthday as well, so I'm doing that. I'm going to be meeting Michelle Gomez, which is scary. I don't know, like, I'm scared because she has the very big character, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to react. But yeah.
Yeah, quite nervous first time meeting them.
Yeah, I am on Twitter, but not as much as William Who. So yeah, but I have TikTok, of course, as Geeks Assemble, where I do cosplays of Doctor Who and basically talk and do reviews occasionally on that as well. I've been doing some South Park as well, but mainly it's Marvel and Doctor Who that I'm focused on. So yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, I definitely recommend, if you haven't already, go give GoDoctorWho's YouTube channel a subscribe. I'll link it below in the description below. And also his TikTok as well. He does really creative Doctor Who funny TikToks as well. So if you're a fan of TikToks, definitely go follow him over there. And for myself, I'm just on YouTube and on Twitter. I'm on Twitter quite a lot. I tweet quite a lot. So if you want my Doctor Who opinions or anything, feel free to go give me a follow, and I'll leave a link to my YouTube as well if you want to go and check me out. But yeah, hopefully this will be quite a regular Doctor Who podcast series. We'll hopefully get some guests on soon. If you have any guest suggestions, let us know in the comments, and we'll reach out and see what they say. And yeah, hopefully we'll be back very soon with more Doctor Who content to discuss. I hope you all enjoyed the first episode. Yeah, bye everyone.